What's up, everybody? Thanks so much for joining us for the Ski Summit Show. I'm your host, Matt Dayton. I'm here with Benji. Benji does live stream producer and sidekick, and just all around good chat with Benji. I always have such a good time talking before these shows. And
Yeah.
I feel like I just blew all my good stuff, just chatting back and forth here before we got on.
That's all right. It gives us a jumping place, just something to jump off of.
There you go. So we're going to talk about everything to do with Summit County real estate. We've got some good information for you today. We're going to look at some new listings that have come on the market. We are going to talk about a couple real estate tips for you today, and take a quick look at the stats, see what we're seeing there too. So, but first off the bat, Benji, what do we got on news?
What we've got on news. So let me see if I can get this up. I had to register for the Summit.
That's the big news. When you go online to get your news from the Summit Daily, you got to register now. So
Right.
I don't know what they're trying to I don't know. They didn't ask for my shoe size, so
Yeah.
maybe they're not going to sell it. They say they're not going to sell it, but one of those. Now another password I got to remember. So
Well, they say on here that Summit County is preparing for possible legal action against the short-term rental regulations.
yes, so this was kind of the writing on the wall, I feel like, and there'd been a lot of talk about it before. I'm not surprised at all that they're doing this. I was just up in Wilderness area. That's above Silverthorne. You got all these condos up there. They've got pools. They've got bus system, shuttle system right there, clubhouse. And they're honestly, 80% of those are short-term rented. So the county coming in and saying that, hey, you're only going to be able to do 35 bookings a year. And also, if you sell your license, it's not transferable. So the next person, they're going to probably have to wait a couple of years to get a license, because we capped the number of licenses that you can get at 15%, and we're currently at 18%. So that ruffled some feathers, as you can imagine. And we are looking at some litigation possibly coming down the pike. I don't know whether they'll get anywhere with it. The county's saying, you know what, we're covered with our regulations. We're good. But I know that there's plenty of property owners and HOAs and investors such that are not so happy about it. So there you have it. What a surprise. We're going to court. So, yeah. What do you think? We should go to
That's business, right?
It is. And it's, you get it. Everybody needs a place to live. You got to have a roof over your head, and it's it's the classic old haves and have-nots.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's not it's no good answer.
No, I don't know how to say anything anymore without winding up on a naughty list. So
yeah, right.
All things are happening. You just kind of go, oh, that's terrible.
That's terrible. Unbelievable.
I wish him the best.
I'm just going to take a neutral position.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can see both sides. I get it. But, I'm also proponent of living in a free country and doing what you want with your property to a certain extent, unless you're my neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah, no trash.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have 3 cars, no more.
If you're my neighbor, not in my backyard.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
here's your question of the day. If you could live anywhere in Summit County, where would you live?
That's a kind of a tough one.
Do you guys even have mobile home parks up there?
We do.
You do?
Yeah, we got a couple of them.
I wouldn't have even thought that.
Yep. Yeah. And probably best piece of real estate to own.
Probably.
Because you have the land leases, the lot lease. You buy the camper, but there's no guarantee that you're going to get to stay there if they decide they ever wanted to do something with the land. That happened in Silverthorne, and basically sold the dirt out from underneath these folks and said, sorry. Oh, by the way, can't take your mobile home with you. Seriously, what am I going to do with this thing?
Park it next to the lake.
Yeah. Chris Farley down by the river in a van. Yeah. So where the heck were we? Oh,
where would you live in Summit County? Where do you live out in Summit County, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my top two, I would have to say Weisshorn neighborhood in Breckenridge.
Okay.
So that's like neighborhood, single family homes, quiet, like bigger, more spaced lots right outside of town. So you kind of got like that in town Breckenridge feel. I grew up in Breckenridge. My parents live right on French Street, and that's pretty busy right there. But you get right outside of town, and it's quiet, but you can still ride your bike into town and go to the restaurants and shops and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be one of the top two, and then the other one would be Frisco. So like a Granite Street in Frisco, you're just a couple blocks off of Main Street, same type of feel. So of those two, even though Weisshorn's like probably worth a lot more value, I really like that central Frisco location. Just kind of get to everything that you need to get to, especially with having kids in school. But it's not the Breckenridge resort name, but Frisco is just kind of a cool little town. So I'd go with Frisco.
I like some of those condos around Silverthorne.
Yeah, they're definitely, and you can't go wrong. You're up here in Summit County, you're in the mountains. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
You're even in the mobile home park, you're you're looking
Still
at
way up there, yeah. So here's today's marketing real estate tip. He said to making the offer anyway. What is all that about?
Right. So last night I was I'm going to segue into a big tip for owning a home up here. Last night, my gas line, like my house starts smelling like gas, like natural gas, and go down to the basement. It smells like natural gas. The furnace wouldn't fire up. Probably a good thing. Didn't blow myself up. And so I go. None of the appliances are working correctly. It's just weird. And obviously the smell of gas. So I call XL Energy. The guy comes out. It's like 11 o'clock at night. Long story short, my regulator outside where the gas comes in and the regulator, tons of ice packed around it. And sorry. So you got all this ice packed around the thing. The regulator valve underneath that kind of sucks air in, manages the pressure, was all iced up. So lesson learned from that. In the summertime, make sure that area is clear. Make sure the ice isn't going to be dripping off the roof and flooding into there and jamming that whole thing up. So where I was going with this is the guy that came there at 10, 11 o'clock at night, was out there chipping away with me so graciously. He's looking for a property up here, shopping for something. And he's like, every property that fits our needs is going to be something that everybody else wants too. So if it's got the price, condition, location, everything you need, it's going to have, 3, 4, 5 other people that want it too. And he's like, we just keep getting bid out. So I said, well, you need to find a house that has objections. So either it's priced too high, or maybe it needs work, or whatever it might be. It's not going to be ideal because of those things, but that since it's not ideal to you, it's not ideal to somebody else. So at what price would it work? So maybe you got to put some money into it. Maybe you got to, maybe it just needs paint all over and carpet. Maybe the price is it's priced too high. So the point being is make the offer at the price that will work for you, and don't be ashamed to do that. And you never know. And if if they say no and it doesn't sell, come back. Hey, remember me? The guy that you told to go away? Well, I'm back. I still want to buy your house. And that, it's worth going for those ones versus the one that everybody wants. So
nice. What did he think of that advice?
Yeah, he kind of nodded his head and seemed to make some sense to him. So
yeah, I've noticed that about myself too. If I'm shopping for a car, if I'm shopping for a home, it's got to be Goldilocks, right? Or I'm not going to make a bid. If it's got something on it that I don't like, I've got a reason to put the bid in that I think fits. So that does make a whole lot more sense.
Yeah. And this is just the market where it's like, if you got to have everything just so, and you're looking for that perfect property, But you better be willing to pay top dollar, or maybe this isn't the market for you.
Right, right.
So, but it is what it is.
Well, speaking of markets, you going to compare some stuff for us?
Yeah. So percent of list price. So yeah, we've got I don't know. I was just always looking for just kind of little tidbits and little nuggets to take away and kind of what we've seen over the past couple years. And I came across this one and I thought that the visual of it was just pretty funny. I don't know, like this is like the Grand Mesa of Summit County.
Mesa.
So we're going, we're usually around 97, 98% of list price. And then here we go into March 20, to 2021. And then it's just like, okay, we're at 100%, just flatlined. And really we were in most cases over 100%. I don't know if they've got a regulator on this graph. It doesn't go to 11. But
right.
It just keeps plateauing Mesa Verde here. And then now we've got a little bit of a drop off. So
0.5%.
I've been seeing it fluctuates. It's like you can be in this zone for a while where things are getting like a little bit more discounted. You're more at 97% of list price. And then, it goes back up. So I think that there's some opportunities to get some discounts off of there. Not crazy. We're not going to see huge discounts unless they're overpriced. But again, you also have to take into account that percent of list price is the lowest list price. So they might have listed at $1 million, but they had to come down to 850 before somebody bid on that. So now maybe they're pretty close to that 850, but it's not where they started. So
I see.
Yeah. So anyway, I like the plateau. Redlined.
Now we've got the MLS check. We'll look over all these houses that you sent to me.
Yeah.
This first one that I've got, let me see. Did it show? Nope. I've got to turn this thing on. There we go. So the first one is 168 Deer Path Road.
Yeah, I just thought this was a handsome looking house.
Yeah, nicely manicured.
Nicely done. If for family area, you got the school right nearby, Dillon Valley Elementary School. It's got that dual immersion program. Properties just seems like it's in good shape. It was a little bit of the history on it. They actually had this property on the market before back in 2022 for $1,550,000. This would have been actually about a year ago this time. So, and then it went pending under contract pretty quick, and then it came back on the market and didn't sell for about 6 months. And then they finally took it off the market. So they're back. But it's always good to look at some of these histories on these things because it kind of can tell you a little bit maybe about what motivation is. So
did you see the sink? Oh, what is this?
That's Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yeah. Tatanka.
Tatanka. I haven't heard that in forever. What movie is that?
Dances with Wolves. Shimani Tatanka wa Chias Mielo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I watched that a few times.
Just a few.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's right there at the top of the reservoir.
Yeah. So, so that's a good one. Move on to the next one. Tatanka.
This is 85 Revit Drive. 82.
Yeah, so this is, we were talking about mobile home parks. This is like your creme de la creme of mobile home parks.
Oh.
So, yeah, they basically are mobile homes, but kind of more of a resort neighborhood. So this one is very cool. They've got pads for RVs. If you got an RV and you want to, have a pad parked next to one of these. They sell just pads, but it's really resort oriented. They actually have a restriction where you can't live in these full time.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it's a little bit different, but so you can only live in it so many consecutive days out of the year because they didn't want it to become a primary neighborhood. It wanted to be more of a focused on a resort neighborhood. So, but great for short-term rentals. If you want to, investment vehicle to be able to have something up here, short-term rental, this is a good place to do that.
Yeah, I love. What do they call them? Park
Campers?
models. They call them park models.
Park.
Park model homes. They have them
Yeah.
all over the place out here.
Yeah, it's dressed up. You got
Yeah.
enough, some log on there.
Yeah.
So exactly. And they, it does what it needs to do. So my aunt and uncle own one of these, and it's done really well for them as an investment.
Yeah, it's kind of lame. It's kind of my dream thing. Like I definitely want to become 55 plus and be in a community with these guys.
Perfect.
Doesn't make any sense.
Get out the shuffleboard.
What'd you say?
Shuffleboard.
Yeah, there you go.
55 plus, man. That's like right around the corner. Is that?
I've got 15 years, but we'll see.
I got, a decade.
This is 328 Raven Golf Lane.
Yeah,
this really pretty.
This one just looked pretty and looked like a nice build. If I could, so you were asking me like, ideal location would be Frisco, and then something like this. I just love kind of that mountain modern look, brand new construction. So that's just super sharp. It's a 6,000 square foot house, so it's pretty big. So for 4.8 million on the golf course, and just a really good looking design. And this is a Three Peaks neighborhood, so it's just a very upscale, prestigious type of neighborhood. They sometimes let me drive up in there in my old Land Cruiser.
You got to clear it before you come through.
Yeah, exactly. Let them know I'm coming.
Dayton's on his way again.
Oh gosh.
That's not a bad price either for the other things that I've seen that you've showed me in this area. It's not a bad price, all that square footage and everything.
Brand new construction when you're looking at, other things for $1,000 a square foot, it seems like it's maybe not so bad. So on a half acre of land. So you've got some good space from the neighbors and all that stuff. And yeah, you're right there on the golf course. So you got the benefit of all that extra acreage that you don't have to own. So let's maybe put up with a few golf balls from, terrible golfers like me. So actually, I think you're behind the tee. So it's not likely that I'll hit your house with the golf ball. Maybe I'll get it on the backswing. You never know.
He's having a rough morning.
It's terrible.
This is my golf 340 West Buffalo Street.
Yeah, so I was actually just in this house. So it's a cool one. You got these great views. The inside is done up nice. All the furniture belongs to renters, so
oh wow,
they certainly have got some nice taste, and it actually makes the place. It stages it really well. Yeah. They've cleaned it up really good. It's got fresh paint. It's the kitchen's a little bit more original cabinetry and stuff like that. It's painted, so you could certainly put some money into it there. You're close to Silverthorne Dillon. You got those views. People might have some objections and challenges with being closer to the road, but that's the trade-off for being that location, Dillon. It's got a 2-car garage, so we'll see what this one goes for. We've certainly seen some right along that stretch that fit within this price range for the comps.
Yeah, really good taste. I like the stuff that they've got in here. It looks like the crap that I've got in my house.
Like you guys come.
I don't have an egg chair though.
Now the egg chair, what is? Yeah, is that Flight of the Navigator or something?
Yes.
Oh wait,
oh.
Remember that one, Flight of the Navigator?
There's I think Sleepless in Seattle. They had an egg chair.
Sleepless in Seattle, and what was the other one? Well, then there was the Woody Allen. You ever seen the Woody Allen Sleeper?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen a Woody Allen movie.
Okay. So if you're ever coming up from Denver, there's a house up on the hillside, and it looks like a spaceship slash white taco.
Okay.
And it sits up there and it rotates. It can actually rotate on its axis, on its pedestal. That was in the Woody Allen movie Sleepers. So, if you're ever driving up from Denver, look to the left on the hill there, and you'll see this taco spaceship. So
cool. I have to check that out sometime.
Yeah.
All right, we got one left. This is 22280 US Highway 6.
Yep. So Keystone again, just a great area. I wanted to kind of touch on this area. Go to that map. Yeah. So you're right next to the lake. You've got ice skating and hockey in the wintertime. Summertime, you've got pond fishing, paddle boats, all that right around there. And then across the highway there's a tunnel that goes through. And that big building across the highway is the conference center. Down a little bit.
This one right here.
Yeah. So that conference center is they do a ton of conferences there. And what people do is they'll stay at Keystone, they'll do these conferences. They got a break during the day. They go skiing. It's really popular. So as far as these properties around the lake, they have potential to do really well for rentals with the conferences. So you get, people that are coming just to enjoy skiing and want to rent them for that. But you also get that conference center rental as well. So that's something to keep in mind with those.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this thing.
Yeah, this one's it's right off that lake, so it's got those windows, which gives you lots of sunshine, sunlight views, all that.
Is it pointing at the lake?
Yeah, it really is. It's kind of pointing at the lake. So you got a really nice setting. You're close to everything. You don't want to take probably the shuttle or drive to the skiing. It's not far. You could walk with it. Like I say, don't do it with the 5-year-old in ski boots, but it could be a possibility. But the shuttle's super convenient.
I like these guys. I do the same thing with my TVs. I have a little rolling cart you put them on.
Like in a hospital?
Yeah. No, it was just that way you could play video games anywhere in the house or even outside if you wanted to. You
could do chores, play video games. Just take yeah.
And then if you want to have a movie night in bed, you can do that.
You could just hook a harness and a broomstick up to yourself and walk around the house with it attached. They sell this thing called an iPad. You could carry that around.
Yeah, I can get some holder goes around my neck.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a feeding bag for a horse. Here you go. You need to know this stuff.
Popcorn bowl just with it, and you don't have to use your arms.
What is this? Is a paddle boat?
Yeah. You had your paddle boats. Hard to look cool or tough on a paddle boat, but they're fun.
Yeah.
You're not cruising for chicks in a paddle boat. Yeah, but you get the gist of just that right on that lake type of thing, and it's a pretty unique setting. And I've said before, it's if you can find property on water up here, that is unique and special. So
I bet Summit County just looks like it shines the most in the wintertime.
It does. It definitely does. Awesome. The winters are long, but man, they definitely are special. And of course, that's what people love to come here for. It's I get pretty used to the mountains and the snow and all that, but it's pretty magical still.
775. I got to get rich, Matt.
Get rich.
I got to get this business cranking, and then I can move out there.
I've been wanting to talk to you about consolidated services.
Consolidated services.
Going business together.
Let's do it. All right. That's all I've got for homes right now.
All right. Cool. I don't know that we got anything else on the agenda, do we?
We do not.
All right. Cool. Cool. Well, awesome. Thanks so much, Benji. I appreciate it. Everybody, thanks for joining us. This has been the Ski Summit Real Estate Show. Matt Dayton, Cornerstone Real Estate. Please feel free to leave any comments in the chat. Join us next time. We're doing this every Thursday at 2 o'clock Mountain Time. Come back, join us. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I hope to see you in the mountain soon. Take care.